Do you think those 10 items are in this box? Take a look. Look at that. The court order. Let me do my walkthrough, and what I'm personally checking for is my belongings. But just know that you have mouse traps here, right? Like a few inches away from where we're standing. And I want to make sure. I can't say for addition. You might be right. He might have packed everything for me, but I deserve a walkthrough. And you have my belongings for 6 months standing in a deep, damp garage. I'm just talking about respect.
A judge has just delivered a harsh warning to rapper Jeezy. Either comply with the court's orders or face possible jail time. And what triggered this severe warning? A $100,000 luxury Range Rover. But believe it or not, this is only the beginning. What began as a seemingly straightforward divorce between Jeezy and TV host Jeannie Mai has now erupted into a full-scale legal war that's grabbing headlines and showing no signs of slowing down. What started as a private separation has quickly turned into a media spectacle, complete with late-night legal filings, explosive financial accusations, and courtroom drama that could rival any blockbuster thriller. The issues range from missing $500,000 trust funds to police involvement over restricted access to a shared home, with scandalous receipts being leaked in real time, adding fuel to the fire. Now, the Range Rover situation has become a tipping point, pushing the judge's patience to the limit. When a judge starts using terms like jail time, it's clear this case has entered a whole new, more intense phase. Hold on tight. We're about to take you through the most jaw-dropping celebrity divorce battle of the moment. Forget about the Instagram unfollows, cryptic captions, or subtle public statements. This is far from your average celebrity breakup. This is a full-fledged legal battle. It all began in September 2023 when Jeezy, the Grammy-nominated rapper, entrepreneur, and author, filed for divorce from his wife of 2 years, Jeannie Mai, the former co-host of The Real. The official reason cited was irreconcilable differences. But what seemed like a simple reason for a standard split quickly turned into something much bigger. A slow-burning conflict that has now erupted into an all-out legal war, with both sides firmly digging in their heels. Since then, it's become painfully clear. This divorce is about much more than a broken relationship. It's about power, control, and who will take not only the financial assets but also the upper hand in shaping the narrative that will follow them for years. Fast forward to late 2024, and the couple, once a shining example of Hollywood's power pair, regularly posing together on red carpets, now finds themselves locked in a brutal fight over everything. From expensive luxury cars to financial disputes and, most notably, the custody of their daughter, Monaco. The situation took a dark turn in December when Jeannie, acting on a court order, went to their former shared home to collect her belongings. Sounds simple enough, right? Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. According to reports, when she arrived at the house, instead of gaining access, she was met with resistance. Specifically, Jeezy's security team, who allegedly blocked her from entering. As tensions escalated, the police were called to the scene. The rumor mill exploded, with social media quickly circulating wild speculations about missing valuables and tampered property, which only fueled more legal proceedings. Jeannie, not one to hold back, made her feelings known in court with a powerful statement, "I deserve a walkthrough." This was a clear signal that she suspected there were things inside the house that had not been handed over, items that might have been hidden or deliberately withheld. That moment marked a turning point in the divorce. What once seemed like a high-profile but manageable split transformed into something far more sinister, almost resembling a criminal investigation. However, the real game-changer came not from the standoff at the house, but from an entirely different item. A sleek, six-figure Range Rover that Jeannie insists was rightfully hers. The fact that it wasn't turned over, despite a court order, was the tipping point that pushed the divorce into a more dangerous territory. And the judge? They made it clear they weren't playing games. With the court now warning Jeezy that he could face jail time, this divorce has shifted from bitter and complicated to a whole new level of serious. That once prized luxury SUV, which symbolized wealth and status, now represents something far more important: compliance, accountability, and the heavy consequences of ignoring the court. Now, let's dive into the financial chaos that's adding even more fuel to this already explosive situation. While the $100,000 Range Rover has captured much of the media attention, the real drama is happening behind closed doors, with accusations flying about missing money, unpaid bills, and some eyebrow-raising financial moves that have both fans and lawyers questioning what's really going on. In recent court filings, Jeannie Mai's legal team is making some serious claims about Jeezy's financial obligations. She's not just asking for emotional closure. She's demanding significant amounts of money. According to her detailed breakdown, Jeezy is reportedly behind on more than $4,000 in childcare expenses. While this amount might seem small when compared to their combined net worth, in a custody battle, every penny matters, and this is only the beginning. The stakes get even higher with Jeannie's larger claim. She's demanding $92,400 in unpaid rent reimbursements. Jeannie insists that this sum covers shared living expenses that she paid out of pocket, expecting Jeezy to cover his portion. Her attorneys are framing this as part of a larger pattern where Jeannie is left to carry the financial load while Jeezy allegedly avoids responsibility and leaves bills unpaid. But perhaps the biggest bombshell comes with the claim of a missing $500,000 trust fund that was reportedly established for their daughter, Monaco. Jeannie is alleging that this substantial amount of money has either vanished, been tampered with, or does not exist as it was promised. This isn't just about a missed payment, it's a potential breach of fiduciary duty, and it raises serious concerns about Jeezy's responsibility as a parent. Unsurprisingly, Jeezy's team is fighting back. His lawyers maintain that the trust fund is fully intact, active, and functioning just as it was originally intended. They argue that Jeannie is misrepresenting the facts to gain media sympathy and leverage in the ongoing legal battle. As for the rent reimbursements, Jeezy's team claims that the receipts Jeannie provided are either incomplete, misleading, or possibly even fraudulent. When it comes to the childcare expenses, Jeezy is acknowledging that he owes money but is demanding full transparency. His position is straightforward: without proper receipts, he won't reimburse her. He insists on seeing itemized breakdowns for every dollar she's requesting, even down to the cost of diapers and daycare. Without this level of documentation, he argues, her claims are nothing more than a strategy to manipulate the court. So what's really happening behind the scenes? Are these just miscommunications and documentation errors, or is one side intentionally distorting the facts for financial gain? One thing is clear: this is about much more than money. These financial disputes have the potential to affect custody decisions, public opinion, and even lead to legal consequences depending on how the court views the evidence. As both parties dig in their heels, the truth, whatever it may be, becomes increasingly difficult to uncover. Now, let's shift gears and examine how Jeezy is responding to the barrage of accusations. He's far from being passive in this legal battle. His legal team is coming out swinging, armed with their own set of documents to counter Jeannie's claims and reframe the entire situation. Their goal? To prove that many of Jeannie's allegations are exaggerated, misleading, or flat-out false. Let's start with the Range Rover controversy, which has become a key focal point in the legal war. Jeezy's team argues that the luxury vehicle is not being withheld out of malice or spite. Instead, they claim it's a simple case of bureaucratic delays. They point to a backlog at the DMV and paperwork issues as the cause for the delay in transferring the title to Jeannie. His attorneys insist that there's no intentional wrongdoing on his part, just the frustratingly slow wheels of the system that are now being used against him in court. Next, there's the matter of unpaid childcare and rent reimbursements, which Jeannie claims total close to $100,000. Jeezy's side is calling foul, saying that her figures are inflated and based on unverified or possibly manipulated documents. Their stance? If Jeannie expects reimbursement, she'll need to provide clear and traceable receipts. Nothing vague, no handwritten notes, and certainly no emotional reasoning. They're demanding full transparency and accuracy in her claims. Additionally, Jeezy's legal team believes that Jeannie is strategically exaggerating her expenses in order to portray him as an irresponsible father in the eyes of both the judge and the public. One source close to Jeezy even suggested that Jeannie's legal team might be staging a narrative in order to garner sympathy and secure a more favorable financial settlement. Whether or not that's true remains to be seen, but it's clear this legal battle has evolved into something much more personal than anyone anticipated. The most significant financial point of contention, however, remains the $500,000 trust fund for their daughter, Monaco. This has been the largest and most dramatic accusation so far. Jeezy's legal team maintains that the trust fund is not only fully intact but also properly structured and protected. They argue that Jeannie's claims of a missing or mismanaged fund are part of a broader smear campaign, designed to paint Jeezy as financially irresponsible, or even worse, to imply that he is mishandling money that was meant for his daughter. But here's the problem for Jeezy. The judge doesn't seem convinced by these explanations. In court, the language has become increasingly harsh, with mentions of willful violations of court orders, a term used when someone is deliberately ignoring legal requirements. This kind of behavior could lead to serious consequences, including jail time, regardless of a person's celebrity status or wealth. So even though Jeezy's team believes they have the truth on their side, the judge is demanding evidence, not just excuses. If Jeezy fails to provide that proof, the consequences could be dire, and the rapper might find himself facing far more than just a messy divorce. Now, this is where the situation goes from messy to perilous for Jeezy. When a family court judge starts bringing up the possibility of jail time, things are no longer just about minor paperwork issues or contested bills. It becomes a matter of defiance, and the court doesn't take that lightly. Legal experts in high-profile divorce cases emphasize that judges rarely threaten jail time at this stage unless they feel absolutely pushed to the brink. That appears to be exactly the case here. Insiders familiar with the case suggest that the judge overseeing this battle has grown increasingly frustrated with Jeezy's lack of adequate responses. In a recent court hearing, the judge made it clear, if Jeezy continues to defy court orders, there will be serious consequences. Not just a slap on the wrist, but real, tangible penalties. And these consequences are no joke. We're talking civil contempt, significant financial sanctions, and even the possibility of jail time. The judge's warning wasn't just a suggestion. It was a decisive boundary that Jeezy has now crossed. So what's behind this escalating tension? It's the mounting list of issues. Delays in transferring the Range Rover, incomplete and inconsistent financial documents, unanswered requests for receipts, and unclear explanations regarding the trust fund. A few mistakes might have been overlooked, but when so many issues pile up, it starts to look like an intentional refusal to cooperate with the legal process. And that's something the court simply won't tolerate. But the real danger here goes beyond fines or jail time. The key factor at stake is custody of Monaco, their young daughter. In family court, judges are hyper-aware of any behavior that could negatively affect a child's well-being, and failure to cooperate with court orders can lead to the loss of custody rights. This makes the situation all the more critical. Some legal analysts are already speculating. Could Jeezy's failure to comply with court orders jeopardize his relationship with Monaco? Could his non-compliance make him appear unreliable in the eyes of the court, ultimately risking his ability to see his daughter? There's also another theory circulating, particularly in legal circles and social media, suggesting that Jeannie Mai's legal team could be deliberately ramping up pressure to sway future court decisions in her favor. If that's the case, it's a bold strategy, and one that seems to be working. In any case, the message from the court is unmistakable. Comply with the orders, or face the consequences. And for Jeezy, the clock is ticking, and time is running out. The central question still lingers. Is Jeezy being unfairly targeted, or is this the result of ignoring court orders during a highly publicized divorce? One thing is clear, this battle is nowhere near its end, and both parties are bracing for a long, drawn-out legal war. With every passing court session, more facts are being revealed, and if this momentum continues, we could be witnessing one of the most high-stakes celebrity custody disputes in recent history. So, what's your take? Is Jeezy genuinely the victim in this situation, or is he simply facing the repercussions of his own actions? The drama is far from over, and there's still plenty more to come.